Hello, community of Christ in Chattanooga. My name is Shelby Williams, and many of you probably don't know me. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. Some of you may recognize me a long, long time ago. I'd say 10 plus years. It has to be more than 10 years ago. I visited Chattanooga over while I was in college, and it was just like a month long one year, and then another month in the following year. And my job was to come out and just help with whatever the church needed, or if there were small groups, I could help out there. And I knew I was going to get college credit for it, but I had no idea it would teach me so much about the ministry I am called to share about Jesus' love and how amazing the church is out there in Chattanooga, and that there's always people that just love you no matter what out there. And so I assume many of you experienced the love of your pastors out there at some point, and that is why you are still part of the Chattanooga community of Christ. You all know that Jesus has called you to love each other, even those who are hard to love, because Jesus told us we should love everyone, even those who don't believe they deserve to be loved. So Pastor Jared asked me to do this testimony a few weeks ago. I said I would work on it, but every time I thought about it, all I felt was how upset I am with God lately. In the past 2 years, my family has experienced a lot of loss. My great-grandma passed away, which was sad and it hurt, but she was 88 and had lived a long life, and we were all grieving, but we also know that death is an unavoidable part of life. Then later that year, I received the shocking call about my 30-year-old cousin committing suicide. To this day, I have moments almost daily where I can't comprehend he is gone, and I don't know why I didn't know to call him and try to save him in his darkest time. After he left us, I was extra angry at God, and I honestly don't even know the reason. I just know that when I go to church, all I feel is anger. Later that same month, the day after Christmas, my second cousin, who was only 23, also took his own life. The only way I could cope was just to be numb, and I pulled even further from God and definitely would not allow love from my church family because of my anger. So fast forward to this year, January 4th, I found out that my grandma passed. She was only 71, but had emphysema, and her lungs had been getting worse, and I know that her heart was just shattered from losing her own mom, who's my great-grandma, her grandson, my cousin, and her nephew, my second cousin. Again, death happens, and it's inevitable, and I know this in my head, but in my heart, the darkness continues to build. The only way I know to cope is to surround myself with staying busy and seeing family as much as possible. One trip I planned to see family was to visit my aunt and uncle, who are the parents of the cousin who committed suicide, in late February. The day I was set to fly out, I received a call from my aunt. My 60-year-old uncle had gone into cardiac arrest that morning and was in a coma. I kept my flight and was there for the weekend with my aunt in the hospital as we wondered if my uncle would come back to us. A week later, she made the difficult decision to remove him from life-sustaining machines, and he passed away. I know others have it really hard, and I know some see more death of those younger than seems fair. I know some are living in a hell on earth, and that's hard. Pastor Jimmy has shared stories with me of unimaginable hurt from those of you out there in Chattanooga, and trust me, I have sent love across the United States hoping you all would feel it. And when Pastor Jared asked me to share a testimony with you, one of my first reactions was to try to ignore the request. I absolutely do not feel important enough to have something worthwhile to share with you all. What could I even say that matters? When he had to reach out to me a second time, I said I would, to remind me that I said I would. I shared my pain and my anger with God, and Pastor Jared simply responded that he loved me, and he reminded me that I'm important. He had no idea that I didn't feel important, but he said the exact right thing at the exact right time. Well, what I want to say is this. Even when times are hard and you are feeling the pains of life and you are upset at God because you feel like God is the one hurting you, I don't think God leaves us. I don't think God leaves you. What happens is God will send us someone to send us a message that you are loved. What I want to share with you right now is that the time I spent at church in Chattanooga opened my eyes to amazing people who, even though they may struggle, they keep hoping and keep loving each other. There may be disagreements or fights, but the work you do to get past those and just love each other is monumental. Seeing you all do that made me feel love for you all. I may not even know you personally, but just because you are a part of the Chattanooga community of Christ, I love you. I visited when the Peace Pavilion was opening, and I hope to visit again soon. Please keep caring for each other and loving each other, and remember to tell each other you love them, and so does Jesus. You never know who needs to hear it, like I needed to hear it when Pastor Jared reminded me.